Sunday papers, Greg and Mike. It's the news that you might like. Irregardless, it will make you laugh. Sunday papers time.
3, 2, 1. There we
Read
go.
all about it.
There he goes.
Read all about it.
There he goes.
Summer is almost over, but the news keeps coming.
It's wild that kids are going back to school now.
I know. It's
What?
insane. Dude,
I
we
feel
used
like
to...
summer's, we were all complaining about June gloom,
Yeah.
and I feel summer is just getting started, which weather-wise it is.
How many times have you been in the ocean this summer?
None.
Wow.
Which is, and you know, I have that little dumb tradition every Memorial Day. So I jump started. I always jump in a body of water. This year it was a pool though, which is no big deal. But I'm just saying normally it's a lake, a river, or an ocean. And I make myself do it. And I didn't this year. And sure enough, it slipped away.
All right, well, listen. Here's how you're going to get the most out of your summer. We're going up. You've been invited to Vermont the week after Labor Day.
I know I can't do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I'm on the East Coast, but I'm in New York at Sophie's. Anyway, we'll talk about it. But yeah,
All
no,
right.
that's great.
Yeah, you're going to miss a good weekend. So,
You
all
had
right.
quite a summer night last night.
Oh, my God. What a perfect summer. Well, not only night, but day.
Yeah.
We
Your idea.
My idea, 2 years in a row. That is so funny. All right, here's what we did. We went to Roosevelt Golf Course, which is in Griffith Park in Los Feliz.
Some call it Roosevelt.
What did I call it?
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. No, Roosevelt. Yeah, which is that? Roosevelt?
I actually don't know. I call it Roosevelt always, but I don't know what.
We should say it the same way because we're from the same county in New York, but there's this test that the New York Times came up with years ago. Did you ever take this test where they give you like 20 questions about how do you pronounce this word? What do you call a sandwich, a hoagie, a grinder, a wedge?
Yeah.
And you fill it out, and it told me within 15 miles where I grew up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, that's because you used the N word.
Yeah, that narrowed it down to only 99% of white America
Yeah.
right now.
What do you yell when you hit your finger with a hammer trying to nail something in? And then it identifies everyone in the country.
Yeah. What do you yell while honking?
For me, it would be like, "Oh, you're from London." You throw that C word around with
Yeah.
reckless abandon.
Hey, you kept us on the algorithm, Mike. Well done.
Yes, exactly.
We got a couple stories that are going to kick us right off. Anyway, so we played golf. It was Fitzsimmons, and Gibbons. And then we had about 7 other guys. And we played a 4 o'clock round in a beautiful course carved out of the wilderness. Deer. We had deer on the second hole.
I know, that was very cool.
And then the key to this plan is, and it's why I thought of it, is you park at the golf course, and then the Greek Theater, which if you are to see any live music in Los Angeles, the Greek is the most special place to see a show.
It's great.
It's outdoor. It's carved out of the canyon there. And so instead of having to find a parking spot, you keep your car at the golf course. You walk across the street. We waited. All right, explain your ticket buying strategy.
Well, like what we did last year is firstly you're grandfathered in, so you don't pay. I'm guessing it's more than $50 to park. I don't know. It becomes an official parking lot because you're already there. And then I always buy tickets last minute, and you watch a couple of the apps. And this time, because we wanted as many of us together as possible, at the last minute, I'd say an hour before the show, we got 8 together. But of all things, we went to Ticketmaster because we got like they had them, and anyway, cheap. We got there were $45 tickets. Of course, that almost doubles with Ticketmaster's extras.
And of course, no, you're cheap. The tickets weren't cheap. You are. We're on the 6th hole, and everybody's like, "Can we buy the fucking tickets?" You're like, "No, we got to wait." So we get the tickets. We are literally in the last row of the place on the side, to the side. You can't even see the drummer.
We're closer than 80% of the people.
How's that?
Look at the map. Do you know how far back it goes? The place holds 6,000 people.
All right. All I know is I had a rail behind my head that had wilderness on the other side of it. That's how far back we
liked that, but we all wanted to. Anyway, whatever. I couldn't buy another course because I didn't know if the other 5 had bought theirs.
All right, let's talk about Tedeschi Trucks because I'm kind of new to them. I know you've seen them before, but Jesus Christ, Derek Trucks is one of the great. I mean, first of all, they covered. Here's where his roots come from. They covered Clapton. He covered Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then the Beatles, where George Harrison is one of the most underrated guitar players in history. Everybody thinks of the Beatles as the brand, but he was incredible. So anyway, and then Susan Tedeschi I said this last night, her musical IQ is off the charts. Her understanding of blues, and it's incredible.
I mean, I've gone on about them ad nauseum. They're amazing. But hold on, I'm not letting go of the seating chart. Keep in mind, there's your seating chart.
Yeah.
And the orange way up top is still seats.
Why don't you put it in front of the camera? There we go. All right. Yeah. But then for the last 4 songs, we walked down and stood in the dead center of the theater, and that was incredible.
Yeah, but you get as close to the soundboard as you can. But they were amazing. Bell Bottom Blues, they pulled out. They ended with A Little Help from My Friends, which just was insane. And I listen, she's great and everything. It truly is. I love everything. I mean, 3 horn players, 3 backup singers, 2 drum sets, the keyboardist. They co-headlined, I guess. They shared the bill. So we got a little less of them this time, but normally they flex all their muscles and like someone will come down, sing a solo. The female trombonist ripped it up. Like she was amazing.
That was the biggest applause break of the night. It was after her solo.
She went to town on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, see them. They're on a big tour. They're on tour through October. They're one of those bands, though. This is their job. They're kind of always on tour. So please look them up. Yeah. I mean, it's so soulful. Yeah. It's amazing. And he's my favorite living guitarist. I don't even know who his second is. So,
the other thing that's great is the sound mix. It's very much like an Allman Brothers sound mix where the vocals don't overshadow the bass or the drums. Like everything is like everybody's working as a team. There's like a very unified sound to it.
I was sitting next to Kip, and Kip is so funny. And Kip's like, so wait, tell me about them a little. Like this is his first Tedeschi Trucks. So I'm like, yeah, no, him. And he's like, and what's his deal? I'm like, well, his uncle was the drummer of the Allman Brothers. I go, but he was a prodigy. He was on stage playing guitar at 8 years old. There's footage on YouTube. He's like, really? I'm like, I mean, for me, he's, top 5 guitarists for sure, that do this. I mean, I'm not comparing him to jazz guys or classical. But anyway, Kip then talks to the guys over there, and he comes back. He's like, they say, Rolling Stone said, he's in the top 14 guitarists, living or dead. And then, I guess maybe Kip was pretty stoned, but he just kept, like, any solo that happened, he would just be like, or dead. Or dead. Like, that's quite a, he's like, or dead, like, forever. Like, that's everyone who's dead. Like, that's impressive. And then there was one solo that was so crazy where he was jumping frets and just making this unbelievable sound. There's probably a name for it. I don't know it. And he's like, all of a sudden he leans over. He's like, I'm saying top 11. He just kept lowering it throughout the whole show.
Well, I want to describe his entrance into the arena. We're walking through security, and he's got an open bottle of red wine. And he starts walking through security. And this theater is kind of like an NPR crowd. It's very laid back. It is not the Meadowlands where they shake you down, metal detector, yell at you. Yeah. Everyone's just kind of groovy and walking through. And he walks in with an open bottle of red wine. And they go, sir, you can't. And he goes, what? I can't walk in with an open bottle of wine, and he just
By the-
keeps fucking.
By the way,
walking
no
through.
cup. No cup. He's drinking out of the bottle of red
Yes,
wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had a lovely mushroom experience. I took just the right amount, and
Yeah, I wasn't going to trust you. The Fitz facts. I'm like, hey, so Greg in the parking lot shows me a mushroom chocolate bar, which has the squares on it. I'm like, so a microdose is 1, and you go, or 3. So already I'm out. I am out. I don't want to like wonder if I'm always going to be this way through the whole show and all the paranoid thoughts that come. And I'm like, what do you mean? And you're like, look, read the package. A microdose is 1 to 3. I'm like, that's a pretty big range. It's not like it's 100 square candy bar. What are there? 8, 9?
Yeah.
It's saying either either take 1 or half the bar. See how it goes.
I had such kind of a microdose with shrooms when you do it right, just sort of like brightens your senses and gives you the lightest kind of a buzzy feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And also makes you laugh. I had a permanent smile. I was just really, it was a little bit of a bummer. Like when you're that far back, nobody dances. And that's a dance band for sure.
Well, that's all seats. I wish they had the night before they played a different Greek theater at Berkeley, and Berkeley in the Berkeley Greek has a lawn. That would be
nice.
Ideal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's behind the seats. It's like, remember in Mansfield, Mass. What's the name of that place that opened when we were in college? But or Saratoga, SPAC. All the Dead shows, like you just want, you can be in the seats up front if you want, but no one wanted that. You wanted to be like wandering on the grass.
So what's going on? Your dad's here?
So he arrived yesterday afternoon, right? And so he's here for a week. And, when they get that old, he's 85 now. When they get that old, and it's basically meal to meal. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to take him in the swimming pool because he has one in Florida, and I want him to move more and stuff. Anyway, but so I take him to lunch today because he's out staying at Laura's the first couple of days before he comes over here. And so Kate, my niece, his granddaughter, joins us, the three of us at lunch. And I go, so how's the jet lag from here? And he's like, well, he goes, it was, let's see. He goes, I guess it was all right the first night. And Kate goes, Grandpa, you've been here one night. And I'm like, never mind, Dad. I got my answer. And it's because he got here and took a nap. And then he woke up to eat dinner. And then they went to sleep.
That's hilarious. I told you what my mother said when I was back in New York, right? She stays in my sister's basement. My brother-in-law is a builder, and he built this beautiful apartment downstairs. So she's down there, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I open the door to the basement, and I yell down. I said, Mom, do you want some eggs? And she goes, yeah, what kind? And I said, scrambled. And she goes, oh, I thought you said cake.
Yeah, Ma, scrambled cake.
She goes, no, thanks. I thought you said cake at 10 in the morning. That's how she eats. We went to lunch with her in Florida one time, and it was one of those days where, like, we come to town and actually do things.
Yeah.
And so we're like, all right, let's go down to Miami. Let's go see the Breakers. Let's go, and so we went out to lunch, and she ordered an ice cream. We're at a fucking Cuban restaurant, won't eat the Cuban food, and orders an ice cream for lunch, and then gets moody an hour and a half later. Starts getting snippy. It's like, well, maybe if you didn't have a fucking sugar crash right now.
Right. Yeah, totally. Did you
So-
see Naked Gun?
I did. Saw it in New York.
Yeah, it was okay.
I feel like the first half was a lot stronger than the second half.
Yes. And they took some chances at times. Boy, I sat through all the trailers. The trailers were so painfully unfunny while trying to be so funny. And I'm like, so I was, and a couple of them had good people in it who, can like deliver a joke. And I really was like, is this just getting so soft? Especially on the heels of watching Happy Gilmore, and I just couldn't believe what made it through takes and in editing and notes, and I'm like, that really? That's the one you said, yep, ship it. That's good to go, that scene. Anyway, but it might be an incredibly unfunny editor and executives in marketing making the trailers. That's my hope.
Well, yeah, you worked in that world. That's how you got into show business. You used to make trailers for HBO, right? I mean,
it's the easiest thing to make short form stuff funny.
You're good, but how much input when you did that did the directors or writers have on what you put out?
Zero. But a lot of executives, marketing executives, had a lot of say.
Oh.
The show could call and say, we really don't like these. And then, there would be a conversation and everything, not with me, but with my bosses. And maybe they would do that. But generally, and even at CBS, I would tell CBS, hey, I kind of started in promos. Like, that's great. You can help us. They did not want that at all.
Yeah, because they're thinking about demographics. They want the trailer to hit men 30 to 42 in the Northeast. Like they've got an agenda for what the content is, not what's funny, but what's going to appeal and get people in the theater.
And you give up eventually. You have, like, at CBS, I remember my sitcom, and the promos are huge because no one knows it exists until those, and you want them to be good. So they put like a record scratch in one of the jokes, and I just almost shit myself.
Oh,
and then it's
God.
like, what do you? And then they put a zoom, like things that literally aren't in the show.
Yeah.
And I just felt sorry for. I mean, at that point, I'm just like, you guys are the least creative. I don't even know how you have this job.
I did a show that had a band on stage in New York one night, and I did a joke, and the drummer gave me a rim shot. And I walked over and I fucking yelled at him. I said, you don't fucking rim shot my joke.
You're not going to have that attitude at Vinny's near the Jersey Shore.
Uncle Vinny's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can rim shot you if they want.
I think that was a one and done kind of experience.
Oh, I thought you were heading back there.
No.
Oh.
Colleen Curtis came out, our friend Colleen.
Oh, yeah.
And
nice.
Yeah, it was good. And our daughters just hung out in New York a couple nights ago.
I was going to ask you before we started, because you just picked up JoJo, right?
Yeah, JoJo had her first business trip to New York for this woman that she's working for now, which was very exciting. She had like 3 giant suitcases of stuff to bring, and they did a photo shoot, and it was like, really exciting. And she stayed in Midtown, and she found the time to hang out with Owen. They went out to dinner a couple times. She went out with her grandmother to dinner, and then she hung out with Sophie. She was down in her apartment. She's like, Dad, you cannot believe how small the rooms are. She said it's like literally the mattress takes up the entire room.
And I think I told this. I literally, so when I was there once, they're like, Dad, Jenny and Tim, like her uncle and aunt, gave us a saw. I'm like, all right. And like, you have to fix this. And it was the roommate's bed. The door couldn't close because the corner of the bed, which was as far in the room as you could get it, the corner of the bed prevented the door from opening and closing.
So what did you saw? The door or the bed?
So the post, I think, sorry to listeners if I've already told this, the post was, in a weird way, was the 2 slats came to the post. So the post was actually on the outside in a way, or half on the outside of the corner. So I removed it. I now put the post on the inside, then anyway, and then I had to saw.
Villa.
Then I had to saw a 45-degree angle,
Yeah.
which it clears. And I'm like, if the bed moves at all, like after you make the bed,
Yeah.
it might block the door again. You just got to push it back in the corner.
But they went out, they saw some jazz. There was some guy at the next table that was giving them beignets. And I'm like, so you guys just eat shit that guys give you from the next table?
I don't like that.
No. Let's give a shout out. Our logo this week. Oh, fuck. Who did this logo? Somebody write in and tell us who did this logo. I have a feeling it's Jane S., but it's 2 hot dogs with relish on them, and then you and I. Isn't this adorable?
That is adorable.
It's us as hot dogs in buns. I thought it was very summery.
It's so summery. Look at that.
The song this week from Jeff Snyder.
I loved it.
Yes.
And he was brave. He went with the word irregardless, which is a word, despite how redundant it is.
Yeah, rhyming it was the hard part.
Yeah.
We need more songs. We got a few in last week. People sent some really good ones. We definitely need to load up on some more. If you are artistic or musical, or you just want to get started in your musical career, make us a quick little 30-second song, and we'd love to play it, give you a shout-out. Corrections. Matt in Peoria said, Uptown Girl erased one of the greatest love songs of all time, Don't Go Changing, which is what I said. And he said, or as it's titled, Just the Way You Are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've watched episode 1. I got to watch 2.
Yeah, we're going to get down to 1
of the
tonight.
Billy Joel.
Oh, by the way, have you seen Night Manager?
Yeah, the hotel guy in the Middle East?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
But wait a minute. Did you watch the subtitled version that's in Arabic, or did you watch the one with Hugh Laurie in it?
Hugh Laurie.
Okay, yeah. It's amazing. It's so good. Yeah. And the woman who plays the girlfriend, she was Princess Di in The Crown.
Oh, right. She's quite tall.
Dude, she's 6'1" or 2", and she is mesmerizing.
I think she might even be taller than that, but go ahead.
She's Australian, and she is just drop-dead gorgeous, a great actress. Worth watching just to see her. And not afraid of a little nudity, God bless her.
The real Princess Di was 5'10".
Was she really?
Yeah. Tall drink of water.
Another correction came from Stephen Blackwood, who said, according to IMDb, Michael Rappaport was not in Do the Right Thing.
I hesitated on that.
Yeah, he just seemed like he should be, doesn't he? In that pizza scene at the very beginning.
Right.
John Favreau said, wanted to let you know that your village story is a ripoff of a classic Doctor Who episode. In the episode, you were locked in a room with 2 robots. One robot always lies. The other always tells the truth. The room has 2 doors. One is rigged to explode when the other safely sets you free. The solution is the same. You go up to either robot and ask, if I was to ask the other robot, which door will safely set me free, what would it say? Then you pick the other door. Okay, first of all, I was telling that riddle when I was about 14. And Doctor Who, when did Doctor Who come out?
I
never
don't know.
seen it. I never seen it.
Oh.
But I have a feeling it was before 1976. 1980.
Well, I don't know. Then it came back and was very popular.
Oh, all right. Either way, thank you, John. John's in Maine. I'm very jealous.
Elizabeth Debicki or Debicki?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. 6'3".
No.
Yeah.
Wow. And she was a dancer. Both her parents were professional dancers.
Whoa.
And then she went to college for dancing, took up theater, and the rest is history.
I love it.
Nevada Smith says, Bert and Lonnie were not the it couple in the 1970s. They met in 1981 and were married from 88 to 93. Okay.
There you go. All right.
Well, who was the it couple in the 70s?
Farrah and Lee Majors.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Are we going to get fact-checked on that?
Other 70s. Well, you got the Captain and Tennille.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you sure do.
Love will keep us together. And then we've got Ryan, who says, a correction about the song used on episode 275. It is correct. I am Ryan Zimmerman. However, it's by Light on Buildings, which is me. So that's what he likes his music put out under. So thank you, Ryan,
Got it.
for the song in the future, we will make sure to get it right.
Thanks, Light.
Tour dates coming up. La Jolla, the Comedy Store, August 29 through 31. These shows will sell out. Get your tickets now before it's too late. Labor Day weekend. Denver at the Comedy Works, September 18th through 20. Connecticut, Comics at an Indian casino, September 26th and 27th. Then I'll be in Fairbanks, Alaska, Vegas, Chicago, San Francisco, Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, December 26th and 27th. Go to fitzdog.com, pick up some tickets, enjoy yourself some live comedy.
Nice.
And now, Mike, are you ready for this?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, this is very exciting. We have an ad, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 8 months since we had advertising on this show.
It's been 8 months, yes.
We got dropped by our agent because he represents like literally the 5 biggest podcasts in the country and didn't want any small ones. So anyway, we got a new agent who's
fantastic, mom and pop shop,
who we love. And he has now, we just signed with him recently, and he's got us our first ad.
Look at this.
And I'm excited that it's Rocket RX because, look, it's.
I'm excited, just physically excited, just hearing the phrase.
Well, look, men's sexual health is something we talk about a lot on this show.
Sure
we're very sexual people.
Yes.
And erectile dysfunction is something that doesn't rear its ugly head. Sometimes the head does not rear, and so sometimes you need a little help. And so I'm fine, Mike.
All right,
I'm fine, but just as an experiment,
it's fun. Also, by the way,
it's fun. But I went through the whole process. The examination is all. You answer a few questions online, and then they're reviewed by a clinician team. They'll see if you're eligible, which is the best medicine for you, and it is inexpensive. You don't wait in line. No in-person appointment. People get a little bit uncomfortable with the in-person appointment for some of these things. People like you, Mike.
You think I do?
Yeah.
Well, the reason I get uncomfortable is because any doctor I see, I have them check my hernia. And so it gets their reaction makes me uncomfortable when they're like, "Sir, this is an ear, nose, and throat." I'm like, "Ma'am, I just want a thorough exam."
Is this Evening at the Improv in 1993?
Yeah.
So, and you'll love it because they deliver it discreetly. Discreet packaging right to your door.
Yep. Doesn't say it.
So I went through this process. It was very simple, and I took the medication that was described, and I'll tell you something. My confidence level on our date night was through the roof. I felt like a champion.
You're not referring to you and me. You're referring to Aaron and you?
If you want to pretend that that's it, yes.
I do want to pretend that happened.
So, look, if you want longer, stronger, lasting erections, click away. We're going to tell you how in a minute, but it is.
Can I add a real anecdote?
Yeah.
Not anecdote. A real. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, but a real piece of advice, I guess.
Yes.
Is that one great thing about it that I don't think is discussed enough is. You talk about the confidence of not having to think about it and just knowing it's going to happen is, especially if you've eaten and drinking a lot. Like if you had a big dinner, let's say you're like out or you're at a party or your date is a dinner and you eat a heavy meal and you have a bottle of wine, whatever it is, that sometimes is like you're just feeling so lethargic.
Right.
And you've had alcohol, and you might start thinking like, I don't know, like, because I'm not really feeling it like in my brain. So am I going to feel it in my body? And you do when you do this.
It can be physical. It can be mental. I would imagine for some people, like they wonder, God, I've got big holes in my calendar in November. We don't have any podcast ads. My hair, well, whatever. I would imagine some people have thoughts that would keep them from performing at
I'm
their.
never going back to Uncle Vinny's.
2-in-1 dual active treatment like Viagra and Cialis had a baby. So it's 100% online, quick and easy. And if you start now, it takes 2 minutes. And once you take it, it takes 12 minutes.
Whoa.
I mean, it takes me that long to get my pants off these days. All right, so here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to complete a 100% online quick and easy consultation now. Get a free online prescription from a real U.S. clinical team today. Start now. Takes 2 minutes. Use code PAPERS30 for 30% off your first order.
Nice.
So you're going to go to Rocket RX and put in PAPERS30. You're going to get 30% off your first order. You're going to support the show. This is how we keep the show going. If you're thinking about it, don't think. Do.
RocketRx.com.
Okay, and then put in PAPERS30. Let's get back to the front page.
You got something to crinkle? I can crinkle one of my, you heard it here, Sturgis pieces of paper.
Yeah, do that.
All right, here we go. Well, we had a nice listener write in begging us to cover Sturgis. So what I do every year is we were doing a story on Sturgis the first year we had the podcast. And I'm like, all right, well, there's a lot of partying. Okay, maybe that's it. And then I somehow got into the police blotter.
Well, you got to explain what Sturgis is.
The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in Sturgis, North Dakota?
North Dakota. Yep.
Hold on. You're very confident. It might be south.
No, I'm positive. You don't look it up. It's North Dakota.
I'm not going to look it up. So, and the amount of old people on motorcycles crashing is staggering. Okay, so, all right, we're going to build to Sunday, but these are kind of random because I went to different newspapers. So the tally is, where is it? Sorry, that's still online. There were the DUI, they went down this year. They totaled 119. This is 119 DUIs in a week.
And you got to remember, this town is like a single stoplight town. It's nothing.
There were 155 DUIs last year. The misdemeanor drug arrests were 266. Felony drug arrests were 104.
Whoa.
Both of those were also down from the previous year.
It's like if Peter Fonda and Jack Nicholson rounded up 160 friends.
Yeah. Let's see. Then there's a non-traffic arrest, 97, 114 traffic-related arrests. Anyway, but let's get to the part that's crazy.
You love the injuries.
It's a little bit of a spoiler, but I'll lead with this. Let's just say the wildlife population is thriving in that part of the country before this week. Here we go. So on Saturday at 6:46 p.m., Harley-Davidson motorcycle traveling eastbound struck a deer. Okay, that's 7. Okay, here we go. 9:49. Oh, wait, that starts Sunday. That's a great one. Wait, hold on. Tuesday, 11:14. Tuesday, here they are in a row. 11:14, 12:03. That's less than an hour. 2:12, 2:29, 2:34. All wipeouts on a Tuesday, mostly in the morning. All right, let me get some here.
This is when they're sharp. This is before the heavy drinking has started.
And I love the language they use to describe the accident. So at 9:34 a.m. on Wednesday, a 2023 Harley-Davidson motorcycle, while traveling south on 385, it was attempting to make a left-hand turn and was struck by another motorcycle traveling northbound on the highway, right?
God.
And they become separated from their motorcycles.
Yeah.
That's the terminology. But as I read these, picture it, it's like gnats. It's like they're everywhere. They're running into each other. They're running into cars. They're running into screens on their own. At 10:14 a.m. Wednesday, Harley-Davidson traveling northbound failed to negotiate a curve. The driver and passenger became separated from the motorcycle.
That's like calling an abortion like the mother and the baby were separated.
At 3:30 Wednesday, Harley-Davidson and a Victory motorcycle were traveling southbound An antelope ran out in front of the Victory motorcycle, causing the driver to stop. The Harley-Davidson was unable to avoid collision and struck the Victory motorcycle from behind.
Oh, no.
They
didn't hit the, what was it, an elk?
Antelope.
They didn't hit the antelope, did they?
It seems like they didn't.
Ugh.
Keep that in mind. On Wednesday, an hour later, Harley-Davidson traveling westbound failed to negotiate a curve, left the roadway, and hit an embankment. The driver and passenger were separated from the motorcycle. 2 hours later, Harley-Davidson traveling eastbound failed to negotiate a curve, entered into the south ditch. The driver was separated from the motorcycle. 26 minutes later, a 2021 Indian motorcycle was traveling eastbound, failed to negotiate a curve, left the roadway, entered the north ditch. Driver and passenger separated from the motorcycle. Okay, this goes on for our 8:30 a.m.
I wonder what else got separated in Sturgis this weekend. A lot of people from their money, a lot of people from their freedom.
Okay, you ready? 10:33 Thursday. Harley-Davidson was traveling southbound, and remember the antelope that wasn't struck? Struck an antelope. There it is. The driver and passenger were thrown from the motorcycle. The antelope was separated from this earth.
That's so
let's
sad.
see here. An hour later, negotiated curve, left the roadway. That's another phrase.
Yeah.
The motorcyclist left the roadway.
Yeah.
It's almost like euphemisms. Yamaha motorcycle was traveling westbound, lost control, driver became separated. Okay, so this is what I want to get to, though. Sunday. Here's Sunday.
A lot of girls were separated from their virginity.
I only separated them, and I don't have to read them. They all read the same way. Here's another one. Motorcycle struck an antelope. That's another separate one now because we're in Sunday. So here we go. 12:27, this guy, anyway, I don't have to read the whole description. 12:27, total wipeout, 2 motorcycles.
AM or PM?
PM. We're in the early afternoon.
Yeah.
12:27. 18 minutes later, that's the struck an antelope. Total wipeout. 4 minutes later, Harley-Davidson traveling southbound, driver lost control, separated from the... 1 hour after that, a Victory motorcycle traveling southbound struck a deer. Motorcycle tipped and slid off the roadway. Again, separation. 29 minutes later, at 2:10, an Indian motorcycle was traveling southbound, crossed the road, and entered the north ditch, striking some rocks. Wait for it. The driver was separated from the motorcycle, but the motorcycle traveled back out onto the northbound lanes, and a Harley-Davidson smashed into it. Like, it's gnats.
All right, I'm going to solicit this right now from our listeners. If somebody would like to go to Sturgis with a video camera next year, we will pay for you to fly in and stay at a hotel. And just send us footage, find the accidents. How many tow trucks do they have in Sturgis? Because how do you possibly tow this many motorcycles when you're a small town? They must bring them in from neighboring towns.
I think you just need like kind of a crane on the back of your tow truck that just has like 5 arms, because you can just pick the bikes up by a cable. You don't have to worry about. They're already totaled,
like
and then just bring them in. It would be like a dream catcher. It would look like that. So keep in mind, this is Sunday. There was one, then 18 minutes later, 4 later, hour later, 20 minutes later. So 29 minutes later, we had that crazy accident. 14 minutes after that one, Harley-Davidson traveling eastbound in the right lane, passenger entered, and 2 motorcycles traveling in the middle hit each other. And it struck the side of the motorcycle. Motorcycle left.
All right, look, Mike, you're on a roll, and this is all really great, but we get it.
Okay, I'm not even going to read you details. We're only at 2:24 p.m. I'm just going to read you the time in between. 9 minutes later, 26 minutes later, 1 minute later, 37 minutes later. Everything I just read you, we're only at 3:37 p.m. on Sunday. 1 minute later, 3 minutes later, 59 minutes later, 45 minutes later, it's finally evening at 6:25 on Sunday when this guy got separated
But
from his motorcycle.
what is the hospital like? Do they set up triage tents? I mean, this is insane, the amount of stitches and broken bones.
Almost all not wearing a helmet. Sadly, 4 fatalities.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not to joke about. It is not a good scene down there.
We should send you up there with your little moped.
I got a motor. I'm not going to call it a hog, but I got a legit motorcycle. You're going to take over my scooter.
Tell me about the engine on your motorcycle.
It's a 400. It's very
there
light.
You go.
It's light and nimble. It's a city bike.
There you go. All right. We'll come back to that story next week to find out the other crashes that happened. But stay out of Sturgis. Stay out of North Dakota entirely.
All right. Next story. Goodbye, gentle parenting, and hello, F around and find out parenting. Carla Dillon tried lots of ways to discipline her rambunctious 13-year-old, including making him write the same sentence 100 times. Did not work with me. That's all I did in high school and middle school. But when he sprayed her with a water gun at a campground after she asked him not to, she saw only one option: kill him. No, she threw him in the pond, clothes and all.
Fantastic. With his phone in his pocket, probably.
Yeah. FAFO, that's the abbreviation for F around and find out, is based on the idea that parents can ask and warn, but if a child breaks the rules, mom and dad aren't standing in the way of the repercussions. Won't bring your raincoat, won't walk home in the... Oh, sorry. Won't bring your raincoat, you're going to walk home in the downpour. Didn't feel like having lasagna for dinner? Survive until breakfast. Left your toy on the floor again? Go find it in the trash under the lasagna, you bastard. Parenting that's light on discipline has dominated the culture in recent decades, but critics blame the approach for some Gen Z problems in adulthood. They cite surveys. I can't read, man. They cite surveys that show young adults struggling with workplace relationships. And was it because their parents never told them no and they suffer from depression and anxiety? Was it because their parents refereed all their problems?
Interesting. I mean, look, you and I are in the pocket of that kind of parenting. We grew up in, our kids. I mean, I sent my kids to public schools on purpose to try to avoid some of this. And I certainly I didn't want to be the parent my parents were, because they hit me pretty regularly. And that was bad. And I never hit my kids. But I got close. Close.
Your parents were just find out parents. Like,
exactly.
You didn't even have to F around. Your dad was like, time to find out because I'm in that mood.
I think it was more like FICO, find out and get knocked out. But I remember, this is my favorite story about JoJo. This defines her personality perfectly. She's the most obstinate. She's great, and I love her, but she's stubborn. So we go to this pool. Remember the Oakwoods apartments where we used to all sneak in? It was like this corporate apartments, and they had a beautiful pool and a hot tub and tennis courts.
You had a birthday party there one year, even though we did not reside there, and it was against all the rules.
Right. I think I had my 30th birthday party there, and maybe it was my 40th, and with like 50 people. And so we go there, and everybody's sitting around, all our friends, and JoJo is about 7. And she loves the water, will not get out of the water. And so, LA in September starts to get pretty cold by 5 o'clock. Sun's going down. I'm out of the water. I've methodically dried my bathing suit in the sun because I don't want to drive home with a wet bathing. And now she won't get out of the water. I said, JoJo, it's time to go. Let's get out of the water. And then she swims away from me. So I walk across the other side. I go, JoJo, come on. We're going to go now. Swims away from me again with a smile. Yeah. And then I fall into the traps. I go, come on, we'll get an ice cream on the way home. If you come now, we'll get it. And now people are starting to pay attention. Now everybody's like, okay,
especially because you're clapping at her like she's an animal.
Come home or you're not getting any dessert. Then it turns into the threat. The carrot didn't work. Now we're going with the stick and nothing. And now everybody, phones are out. People are videotaping. People are laughing because they know what's next. I had to jump in the pool to get her out, and we get out, and now I'm freezing, And I dry off, and then she reaches for a towel, and I pull the towel away from her. And we're parked about a block away, and I make her walk wet and cold to the car. And then we get to the car, and I was like, all right, that's enough punishment. I open the door. She goes to get in, and I hand her the towel, and she pushes it back towards me. And then gets in the car and sits down wet and cold. And I just thought, I am fucked. This is only going to get worse. It was like that scene in Apocalypse Now where, remember, they were giving vaccinations to the kids in the village.
Yeah.
And so they would chop the kids' arms off where they were vaccinated. And that's when Marlon Brando famously said, the horror. That's what it felt like. I felt like Brando at that moment.
But we all have that memory, you and I too, of course, of like pushing it. You get your last warning, then the parents after you, and you just turn around and book it. And part of you's laughing, but part of you is like, my arm is about to get grabbed so hard.
Yeah.
But that was the deal. You knew the deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my kid, boy. So we both did a good job because they were in a culture in Los Angeles in the early 2000s where parents did not want to say no and stuff. But my kids were flabbergasted when they heard the word yes in my house. It was the opposite. I was a house full of no's, and then there would be occasional yeses, and they were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But
I feel like you and Liz, even though you guys got divorced, I feel like you guys were always on the same page with your parenting.
We were. Well, we had, I mean, I think, and same with you. Like, I think we also knew we had some good eggs. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think a lot of that, though, is that admixture. And I love your kids. They went to very crunchy West Side schools, but they went into a Spanish immersion school, which means many of their classmates had Spanish, Mexican families. The Mexican families could give a fucking shit in the best way about this don't say no to your kids.
Yeah.
Like, they are so real world centered that the world has a lot of no's in it, and especially in Mexican culture in America.
Well, and also, I mean, it's just amazing when you see how close the families are and how respectful the kids are, not just of their parents, but other adults. Like, it's kind of the best environment you can raise your kids in, because I can't be that consistent. Like, it's a community that raises the kids when you're Latino in LA.
It is.
You don't have nannies. You are the nanny, and you're coming home to your kid who's being watched by somebody else sometimes, and everybody is part of the team.
It is so family centered.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, I had a little story about that. I lost it.
This is so weird, but you ever have memories from childhood that stay with you and you go, this is not seemingly significant, and yet it's like etched in my psyche?
Yeah.
And we had this time.
Before you go in, it wasn't your fault, Greg. It wasn't your fault.
Look, I was a good-looking kid.
Yeah.
So we went to the Shannon's house one day on our bike. I was little. I had a bicycle, but I was probably only 6 at the most. And the Shannon's house was kind of far away. So I went with my brother, and then my parents came. This is before cell phones, and they drove up to say, hey, we're going to go to the golf driving range. Let's all go. I said, great. And then I started riding my bike home, but I knew they were coming behind me in the station wagon. So I pulled my bike over to the side of the road, and I waited for them, and I flagged them down. And I told them I was tired and I wanted to put my bike in the car and get a ride. My father told me to get back on the bike, drove behind me the whole ride home.
Pushing you, bumping.
Brought me to the driving range with my brother and sister and made me sit on the bench and not hit golf balls and watch everybody else. And all right, not that big a deal. That had such a fucking profound influence on me. I just remember feeling so like I was a child who was looking to be taken care of, and I was punished. I think that's what it was.
Right.
Yeah. I was
I guess so.
I was like, help me. Can you help me? I'm tired and I'm little and I want you to help me. And I think it made me I think that type of parenting made me very independent, but it made me also not be able to ask people for things that much.
Right. Right. And then relying, and that part of that is a vulnerability also. You become less vulnerable because you don't think that anything outside of you can help you.
Right.
But JoJo just found out why she did not get the towel that day. She just learned why she did not get the towel that day.
I mean, was that too? Do you think that's too far? What I did?
No, you're also in the heat of the moment, and it's not that bad. I mean, So I asked Olivia recently. I'm like, "Do you remember that time when I grabbed?" She's like, "When you grabbed my arm really hard?" Yes, I do. Like she finished my sentence.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, this is one little indicator of how family oriented, especially the Mexican American population, is in Los Angeles. Remember, we went up to Magic Mountain and we gamed the system. We got there early. We went during the week also. But it is.
Oh, and it's back when you could get 2 for $1. They were trying to get people up there.
Right.
There's all kinds of passes you could use.
But it is normally overrun. There are so many people there, and it's a huge Mexican American population that go there, probably because a lot of it's the geography of where it is. So anyway, we're there talking, and we're having a time of our lives that day, running to every roller coaster. And I talked to a guy there. I'm like, "What are your slowest days?" He's like, "Oh, easily the slowest day here is Mother's Day." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, because all the Mexican families, there is no getting out of that. There is no, and there's the respect from the mom to the grandmother. They are not getting here at best way late in the day.
Right.
There's brunches and all that. So that was a very interesting point.
God, there's so many racist jokes I could make right now, but let's move on to the next story.
No, let's move on. Here it is. Oh, so I came across this story and then I was like, "Oh my God, that's juicy. How did I not see that this week?" It turns out it's a 2017 story before we had a podcast. So we never did this story, but I thought it was such an interesting topic. It's almost like an ethical question, which we'll do after. But here it is. A Texas restaurant was criticized for its bathroom signs. It had the men's room and the ladies' room. And what it did in 2017, it was Doty's Cajun Bar and Grill in Allen, which is roughly 25 miles north of Dallas. It used Bruce Jenner with his gold medals on the men's door and Caitlyn Jenner on the cover of the magazine that she came out on, or, debuted Caitlyn Jenner on the women's bathroom.
That's amazing.
And they got so much hell for it. And I'm wondering, I understand that if you're making light of it and it's a very painful area and subject. Now, people brought that to the restaurant's attention and they're like, "That is not at all like what we had in mind. We thought this was creative and funny." And I guess we also thought that this is actually very literally calling her a woman, which is, we think, appropriate. But anyway, that's why I think it's an interesting issue, because I can see both sides.
Well, when I was at Yankee Stadium, and I'll post these pictures, I was at Yankee Stadium.
But they are making it a joke. I get it.
I was at Yankee Stadium a couple weeks ago, and there's this Irish loud ass bar across the street that everybody goes to before the game, and it's just sunburned Irish people from the Bronx and Dominicans, and it's like this mix of New York. Anyway, the bathroom, the men's room says pitchers, and it has a pitcher on it, and the women's room says catchers, and then there's another bathroom that says switch hitters.
No.
Yes.
Oh, man. I thought you were going to say the men's room had a Yankees logo and the women's room had a Mets logo.
That would be great. It is so funny when you think about these fucking bathrooms. I just thought about it yesterday when I went to that bathroom at the golf course. They're unisex, and I just thought, well, who is going into a woman's room? If you're a man going into a women's room, all right, you're already in violation of something. But is a man going to attack a woman in a woman's room? Like a cross-dressing man? Is he going to sexually... Now I got us off the algorithm. Is he going to assault a woman? Is the sign on the door stopping him from committing that atrocious act?
I get beat up by men in the men's room when I sit down to pee on the urinal.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about it, man. It sends them off.
Well, I think it's because you don't tuck your penis back and you're peeing in the middle of the floor.
I'm also, my hands are on my knees. It's an awkward position. And then there's a guy on my left and right, and I'm kind of looking at them.
All right, we're off the algorithm. We made it 55 minutes.
I think I'm still safe. Can I still be on the algorithm? All right, ethical question. Here it is.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right, ethical question of the week.
Are you making this up?
No, I read it on it. It was like a TikTok video. You are offered $50,000 cash, but in order to receive it, the person that you hate the worst in the world or the most in the world gets $100,000. Do you take the $50,000?
Oh man, I have to try to make this real.
I don't think you have anyone you hate that much. You're not really a hateful person.
I'm not. Yeah, I can spin some wheels spending negative energy on someone, but it doesn't last somehow, despite being Irish, it doesn't last forever. But I think I would because I don't know. It doesn't work, but part of me is like, fuck them. Yes, they did get that money. I'd like it if they knew it came from me. But anyway, I'm getting 50. Maybe that's part of the healing. Part of, they say anger is like, there's a million ways this has been phrased, but it's like carrying a hot stone around, waiting to throw it at someone, and you're burning yourself the whole time. So in a way, maybe this is part of that letting go. Like, yeah, you've actually done them an incredible solid, but you've separated it. You haven't tied your 50 grand or to me, I'm just taking my 50 grand.
Also, if you hate this person, they're probably a really big douchebag. And one thing I've seen in life is give a douchebag a large amount of money and horrible things happen.
Yes.
They're going to buy drugs or they're going to think they have more than they have and actually get more in debt than they were before they got the $100,000.
Yeah.
They're going to forget to pay taxes on it and go to jail. Yeah. Give them the 100.
Right. Or it's like Florida men who win the lottery.
All right. Let's go to entertainment.
Here we go.
Perhaps the most prominent of the been-throughs was Kennedy. I don't know what that means. Anyway, RFK, the Health and Human Services Secretary in the Trump administration, was busted sexting with New York reporter Olivia Nuzzi. Nuzzi parted ways with the magazine after she was put on leave. Kennedy was in the doghouse. Him and his wife, Cheryl Hines, barely spoke for weeks. Hines said she was embarrassed because he got caught. This is the kind of woman that marries a Kennedy. She's embarrassed that he got caught. She said, quote, "There is no end. And if you get caught into responding to her being asked about it, then it drags you into low vibrations. And the trick is to stay in high vibrations. And even when there's all this chaos, accusation, and vilification going on around you, ultimately the outcome is all in God's hands.
Oh.
And our job is to try to stay peaceful and love each other and our families and be good examples." I think Olivia Nuzzi had some high vibrations going on when RFK was working that dildo on her.
I think high vibrations is a side effect of vaccines.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so she's against them.
Yeah.
How is she staying in this picture?
She said she has a friendship now with Donald Trump. And
who? Hines?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Look, what do we know? Just because she's a Hollywood actress doesn't mean she's liberal. Maybe she was always sort of, in the middle.
I'm actually not being general at all. Like, what is she doing staying with a right-leaning? The stuff that Kennedy has said is dangerous, full-on dangerous, and then some of the actions they're doing are just patently, objectively hurting people.
Yes. And they're getting
and
rid of
so preventable.
They're literally burning all the science that would support anything that promotes vaccinations. And we're not just talking about COVID. We're talking about polio, measles. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. And I'm not ruling out. I'm not even talking about vaccines. I literally am not. I'm talking about policy. Policy he's changing. That every 100 out of 100 scientists will tell you that is hurting rather than helping, and people will die.
Yep. All right.
Anyway.
Let's make America Florida.
Let's get to a happy place called Florida. So, Florida man. All right, this is the photo I was trying to get in here, and I guess it's protected because it's on my desktop. It won't let me put it in the document. Anyway, Florida man catches 87 invasive pythons in a month and was awarded $1,000, which is low, through the state incentive program. Aaron Mann clinched the monthly prize as part of South Florida Water Management District's Python Elimination Program, which encourages skilled Sunshine State residents to capture and kill as many of the invasive Burmese pythons as possible. Last year's challenge winner only removed 20, but he brought home a $10,000 reward. Additionally, specialized python removal agents are paid $50 for each snake they secure, with an extra $25 thrown in for every foot on snakes stretching longer than the average 4 feet.
Wow.
The picture I wanted to put in there was of the 19-foot python, which would be worth $425 under the new program.
Plus the meat that you can sell to the Korean markets.
Well, I think a lot of that meat's now going to go to the prison, which is right there.
Oh, right. Well, I have to say, this new government is doing an amazing job of incentivizing rednecks to basically work for them, using their natural redneck energy. It used to be a government job, and now we're just tapping into tackle immigrants, catch snakes, invade the Capitol.
Up the price. Do you want every snake out of the Everglades? Up that price.
Yeah.
You don't think these boys are going to get them?
Also, it's probably fun. Hunting pythons?
I don't know, man. They're in there at night and stuff. They also had a program. I didn't put it in there. They made robotic rabbits that went in and they would attract, and they had a meter. They would attract the pythons. Sometimes they would eat them, but that was a way to find them. Here's my question to you. This technology has to exist already. But if you don't think there's a world where some guy on a lawn right at the shores of the Everglades swamp is going to have 20 drones, super high-tech drones. He's going to boom, one goes up, two goes up, three. They then scan. They have their heat sensor with a map that can immediately show you a snake that is over 8 feet long, and absolutely destroy it or do anything you want with it. Identify it, disable it, land on it, whatever you want to do. But aren't we, that can happen right now.
Invasive species, man. That's why they call them invasive species. They're really they get embedded, man. They are in the woods. They're on the marshes. They're on the edges. They're, once they're in, it's really fucking hard to get them out.
This drone would take one piece of video and it would be there's 16 snakes that are over 8 feet right there.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like fishermen are using drones to take their lines out.
Well, they're using drones on the border now to find people that are running across the border.
It's all coming to the mechanical hound. But it's going to be a mechanical bird. That's what it's going to be.
Another job lost. Let's make America Texas.
All right, let's make America Texas. Here we go. All right. Texas, man. All right. This is, it's not a light story, unfortunately, but from what I could tell and everything I read, he has had no physical contact with anybody. Texas man wearing nothing but a diaper asks young girls for a change.
Now,
Wesley,
don't misread that. Not change, for a change.
A change.
Yeah.
Wesley Wade Worrell, WWW, was arrested in Tyler on August 7th on charges of criminal solicitation of a minor and criminal trespass. The children reported that Worrell got out of his truck wearing only a diaper before yelling his inappropriate request to the girls. An arrest affidavit describes...
Wait, are they sure that he wasn't just from India?
Wait, why?
You ever see Gandhi? You ever see pictures of Gandhi?
Okay. By the way, why did Gandhi wear a diaper if he was on a hunger strike?
Here we are back at Evening at the Improv, 1993, folks.
Ever notice an arrest affidavit described Worrell's pattern? Oh, they described him as a pattern of predatory conduct. The document says Worrell has a decades-long record of charges relating to wearing a diaper. It fell out of there. That was my favorite part of the line. So he's not new to the diaper game.
No.
It's interesting.
It is. What's interesting is that, little girls don't want to do this. They play with their dolls. They're constantly changing diapers. This is just a big, giant, fun diaper. They can put them to bed. They can put them to sleep after this. Cuddle up with them.
It's a unique angle. I'm going to give Wesley that. Usually it's like using a puppy, right? Candy, something to entice them. He thought being naked, not only wearing a diaper, but saying it's full.
Yeah.
That's part of this.
Now, they don't say whether it's an actual baby diaper where it's barely covering it. I mean, a baby diaper would probably just cover, his genitals.
Yeah.
Or did he custom make a large diaper with pins on the sides?
Yeah, there are some big babies, but not that big.
Well, you remember the baby in the Bugs Bunny cartoons. Baby, yeah. What was his name? Baby something?
Oh, yeah, I forget the name.
The giant baby? Yeah.
Finster? Baby.
Maybe it was Finster.
Oh, my God. Did I just pull that out?
Nice call. Jesus.
Is it? I can't remember anything, and I remember that.
All right, let's get down to international.
All right, here's your crinkle.
The Colombian Navy on Wednesday announced its first seizure of an unmanned Narco sub equipped with a Starlink antenna off its Caribbean coast. The semi-submersive vehicle was not carrying drugs, but the Colombian Navy and Western security forces told us that they believed it was a trial run by a cocaine trafficking cartel. Quote, it was being tested and was empty, a naval spokeswoman confirmed to AFP. Yeah, boss, we checked. No crew, no drugs. Weird. It's weird, huh?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in the Navy ship, there's like 6 guys with Colombian neckties being tortured by Navy guys that are coked out of their minds, wearing gold chains.
I love this. Yeah, that's also gonna be drones.
She was empty, Captain. She was empty.
Nothing here. Nothing to see here.
Dude, the criminals are always going to be one step ahead in technology. Whatever we think of, they are using that shit. They, the drones that they're using to, think about how easy it is to, they're not detecting planes. You can get a drone and carry a fucking kilo of coke across the border easily.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to defend against drones. Also, drones can carry people across the border.
Yep.
Good luck with the wall. You're still thinking like 1940s.
Yeah. It's like us we build these aircraft carriers. It takes 10 years from development until completion of an aircraft carrier. And by then they say like all the technology is obsolete.
I mean, I'm not that imaginative. I really am not that imaginative. I would be writing much more make-believe stuff. But can you see, forget your wall, can't you see the border? Let's say it was the border between Mexico and America. That border every third of a mile will have a pole basically with a nest. And in that nest is sitting a drone. It's very much like, when they build the artificial nest for like giant eagles or condors. It's going to be a drone nest, and that drone just watches. That's what it does. And as soon as it sees, it doesn't matter if it's night or day, because it sees no matter what. And then a third of a mile, eventually it'll get to a mile, and eventually get to 50 miles. It will just watch, and as soon as there's anything, it goes and investigates. That's your wall.
Right. Well, I think the problem is the manpower that then it requires to go arrest people. I think they know a lot of times right where they're coming in, and they just don't have them. Well, maybe now they will, but I don't think anybody's coming across the border anymore. I think that people are like, why the fuck would I go? Why would I sneak into a country that's throwing everybody out?
But don't forget, the drone can do whatever. The drone can drop a net. The drone can gas them. The drone can, of course, kill them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Take it easy there.
The drone can drop like banana peels and make it slippery. They're never going to get in the country.
Let's go to science.
Do we have to? All right, here we go.
The Trump administration is accelerating plans to place a nuclear reactor on the moon.
We are going to blow up the moon.
The reactor will launch to the moon by 2030. It's an ambitious target that has some scientific community concerned about high costs and potential unrealistic schedule. The plan follows the U.S. goal to return astronauts to the moon and be a leader in space exploration, as China and Russia also aim to use nuclear power on the moon by the end of the decade. Duffy said during a press conference on Tuesday that using a nuclear energy as a power source on the moon is necessary to sustain life there. Now, who owns the moon? Like, if Russia and China and us are all putting shit up there, is it just neutral? Will it be eventually claimed by a sovereign nation and it'll become like what we have to Hawaii? Is that going to be our next, Pacific island?
Wait till this country, America, puts all its homeless up there. Now the homeless have nukes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. By the way, blowing up the moon was a very, very funny Mr. Show sketch. It was also a Blues Traveler album name.
Blow up the moon?
Blow up the moon.
Really?
My phone is rich with knowledge here and info. It was Babyface Finster.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, my God. I remember the little guy.
Wow.
Those little mafia sort of storylines
right.
in Bugs Bunny were great.
Yeah, I know. Because you have to remember that Bugs Bunny probably started in the 1930s when there was prohibition gangsters. You think it was later than that?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I think probably 50s, and it's Chuck, right? What's his name? Yeah.
I would say it started in 1940. That's going to be my guess.
All right, I'm going in. I'm going to fact check you live.
In the meantime, it's like, oh, look, it's a full moon tonight. Oh, except for that chunk taken out of the side with that mushroom cloud next to it.
Chuck Jones. Here we go, Bugs Bunny.
Chuck Jones.
Created in the 30s.
Thank you.
But that was before Chuck Jones. But Mel Blanc.
Mel Blanc, the famous Mel Blanc, the greatest voiceover guy in history.
Tex Avery's A Wild Hair was 1940. That's when Bugs arrived as Bugs, they say, was 1940.
All right, let's do letters to the editor.
Okay, let's do it. Here we go.
This is from Matt Turfy. He said...
I think we skipped this day in history. Oh, it's coming up. Sorry.
Episode 274 came out on July 27th. Episode 275 came out on August 10th. Did we skip a whole week and it was never acknowledged? Sunday, August 3rd? It is an amazing free podcast, hard to complain about. We got to get better about telling people when we're going to take a week off. I think sometimes because we don't realize we're going to until it's that week.
That is what happened. We realized at the end, but what someone suggested, which is very simple and easy, is when we do know, why wouldn't we put out a YouTube? We should put out a vintage one with a screen that just says, gone this week. Please enjoy this. We'll be back next week.
That's good. And also, I could put it out on social media that we have no show this week,
Yeah.
All right. And then he said, on July 27th, you said, watch the Mortician movie. Go watch it. We will discuss it next week. Went, watched it, as instructed. Movie was never discussed or referenced again on Sunday Papers. Remains an amazing podcast. All right.
I love it, Matt. Well, I mean, you saw all of it?
I did.
Dude. All right. Well, spoiler for
we
probably,
warned you. We told you to watch it.
For a minute, we're going to talk about The Mortician on HBO. The volume, it was like false peak after false peak. You were blown away at the volume of bodies he was processing. That's the right wording.
Well, you got to explain the movie.
Well, I guess I thought the people that haven't seen it went away, and I'm talking to the people that have seen it. But
no, I think we come out and say it was about a guy who was a crooked mortician, and you're supposed to burn one body at a time so that you can scrape up the ashes, put them in an urn, and give it to the family to go sprinkle over Martha's Vineyard. This guy, it was like the Holocaust.
It's the most respectable, old school funeral home and operation in Pasadena. Generation after generation, or at least 2 generations, had gotten, like, grandma was, and we have
3 generations. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that stuff. And boy, when you're getting the ashes, it could be from 30 people.
Yeah. He would stuff them in, and he undercut all his competition. People were charging like $500 for a cremation to get your ashes, and he was charging like $110. And he was doing thousands, but he wasn't making his money on that. What he was making money on was the gold fillings in the teeth.
Oh, the rings?
Yeah.
Oh, everything. Organs.
And then he was harvesting organs.
Harvesting organs and sending them to respectable programs that needed them.
Yeah.
He also would break arms and legs to fit them into the incinerator, jamming them all in there.
Anyway, go watch The Mortician. There we go, Matt. We've talked about it. And by the way, very lucrative line of work to go into.
My favorite detail, though, and it's morbid as hell, was he then had to move he was polluting the air so much and making such. So anyway, he got investigated. He did not pause. He went out to a factory in the valley and towards the desert, and he got a big room there. He then ramped up how many bodies at a time he was incinerating. A nearby factory, like next door, it was fishy, all this smoke. They do it at night a lot. This guy was a former serviceman who fought in World War II.
Oh, right.
He literally goes one day, I know that smell. Because he smelled burning bodies in concentration camps.
Right. Oh,
what
that's right.
the F?
Ugh. All right, let's cheer up.
Hard to, I got to tell you. All right, wait, how about this day in history?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I got to tell you in advance. Real slim pickings.
Oh, okay, nothing happened. It's late August. People aren't
no,
really
a lot of it's World War II. You would get it, all that
1945.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly. So let me see which ones I landed on. This is going to be annoying. I'm sorry, because I have to go to like 5 different days.
Jesus.
I mean, would you know when Coco Chanel was born?
Coco Chanel was
Give or
born
take 20 years. When was Coco Chanel born?
1924.
1883.
Really? Wow.
I know. That makes her in her late 30s when she started sucking Nazis' dicks.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, let's see what else. That should get me back on the algorithm.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man.
2 Nazi stories in a row.
Okay, when do you think Jerry Lewis died? Give or take 3 years.
Jerry Lewis, who hosted the telethon with my father.
Died at 91 years old.
My father was the host of the Jerry Lewis telethon from New York. Every city, or some of the big cities, had a local broadcast for 15 minutes of the hour. So I know Jerry Lewis. I met Jerry Lewis. You, sir, are no. He was big back when the movie theaters had live entertainment to open for the theaters. That was him and Dean Martin's big gig. That would have been in the 1950s, and he was young. So I think he was probably born in 1934.
Great work. I asked you when he died.
1997.
2017.
Shit.
I don't even know what trip you just went on during all that. And I also told you he was 91. Okay, we got, football was created. NFL, the NFL, not football, NFL.
By the way, wait, just for the record, I said 1934 and he was 97?
91.
So I was off by 2 years.
Well, no, it's actually worse than that. You couldn't even do your own math. At a meeting in Canton, Ohio, the NFL was formed as the American Professional Football Conference. What year did this start, give or take 15 years?
1915.
Ooh, you got that one. 1920.
Nice.
Okay, we're going to go up here and try to find two more. It's Woodstock, but I know you know what year that was.
1969. Summer of 69.
You got it, pal. We're going to go further up here. I did see some. Robert De Niro born is boring. Okay. George Orwell published Animal Farm on this day in what year, give or take 4 years?
Animal Farm was talking about the rise of communism in the world, fascism, which really was starting in the 30s. So I'm going to say 1933.
45.
Shit.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get one more. One more. Here it comes. God, so much World War II. All right, well, okay, we're gonna end with two sports ones.
Okay.
The first issue of Sports Illustrated was released, give or take 10 years. What year was the first issue of Sports Illustrated?
1937.
No, 1954.
Oh.
All right, here comes your math again. American baseball legend Babe Ruth died on this day in what year? He was 53.
He died in 1948.
Did you look that up?
No.
He died in 1948.
Thank you very much.
I mean, the late pictures of him, he looks like he's in his 70s.
I know. Yeah, I mean, they called him the Babe because he had a baby face, but his head looked old.
Oh, yeah. No, and he also looked, he always looked like he was, it's like the Jackie Gleason thing, you know what I mean? He just looked in charge.
I was just going to say Jackie Gleason. Yeah, he had that aura.
Okay, here we go. What do you got?
Let's skip the obituary because nobody at all died. Now, if you have a loved one that died this week, please know we don't know them, and we're sorry for your loss. But it takes a certain something to make it into the obituaries of Sunday papers.
Well, coming from someone who lost a parent last year, if you did lose someone very recently, just know that it gets worse. All right, let's go on to the funny. You haven't really, it has not sunk in yet, trust me.
All right, I failed to also put out, I mean, and
I'm sorry
we're not good
loss.
in the summer. I forgot to give you a comic to write captions on last week, so we don't have that, but here's the one for next week. You know the contest? I give you a little cartoon. You write a punchline for it. You send it into fitzdogradio@gmail.com. The winner gets a koozie. For this week coming up, it is a gentleman in a three-piece suit walking in the door with a briefcase. He looks, how would you describe his facial expression?
Over it?
He looks over it. And he's looking straight at the camera, right down the pipe. And now we got the dog humping his leg and looking straight up at his face with a smile on his face. He's a small dog. He's kind of humping the ankle more than the leg. Go to town, people. Have some fun.
A lot of possibilities there.
Let's go to Hagar the Horrible. They are storming a castle. You see Lucky. You see Hagar. You see some soldiers dead on the ground with arrows in them. And coming out the door is a chef with a butcher's knife and some other folks. And Hagar goes, the castle is running out of soldiers. They're sending out stable hands. And the chef, Lucky, goes, they're more desperate than you think. And then the final frame is the court jester, and he is squirting one of Hagar's soldiers in the face with one of those squirting flowers that's on his chest. I only put this in because I am fascinated, if not obsessed, with court jesters. Like when I think about how low entry, how low stakes stand-up comedians are today. Like kids are doing improv in college and there's classes on how to do stand-up. You can listen to a million podcasts that describe how, and there's open mic nights at fucking laundromats. Like it's just the barrier to entry is non-existent. Then you go back to the very first comedians, the court jester. And if they bomb, they die. That's a fucking gig.
Also, what furious king is his, like, you know, the guy at his hand, whatever that guy's called. Let's say his secretary.
The king's hand.
The king's hand. The king's hand. Is like, I've got a great idea. You are in the worst mood ever. I'm going to have basically a clown come in. Like,
and the early ones,
the jester must have been dragged. He must have been grabbing the doorway, resisting being pulled into the room. Like, no, I'm reading this room. No.
Oh my God, the hardest performance of all time, and you're doing it like randomly. And but from what I've seen from old movies, like it seems like they were kind of like insult comics. They would come in and they would make fun of the king, and that's what he would laugh at because it was so, you know, it was so unbelievable that somebody would come in and roast the king, and he'd roast like everybody in the court, and you know, and then he sold his CDs after the show.
And pins. It's a big swing making fun of an angry king.
Lockhorns, we got Leroy talking to Loretta. In the background, Loretta's mother sits and knits. Leroy goes, what do you mean I never do anything nice for your mother? I'm always willing to drive her to the airport.
Nice.
Then we got another Lockhorn where Loretta's standing on the scale. Leroy's walking away, and he says, the talking scale isn't broken, Loretta. It just can't get a word in.
That's creative.
I don't even know why that's so funny, but
I've seen a lot of talking scale jokes. I did not see that one coming.
There's one more. Leroy has been pulled over by a police officer, and he says to the police officer, how fast was I going? Not fast enough.
I don't get it.
Like he would have gotten away if he was driving faster.
Oh, okay. I get it. I like it. Yeah. All right. So here's a BC, I think. I mean, it's the guy Hart, but it's just animals. So there's 3 frames. The first frame, it looks like an anteater is talking to a snake, and he goes, and they're looking at 2 zebras, and he goes, why do zebras have those stripes? And the snake goes, to confuse predators. In the second, he turns to the snake and he's like, interesting. In the final frame, the anteater now has a placard, like a sign hanging around his neck. And he's walking by 2 dinosaurs. And the sign has complicated long division on it.
And the dinosaurs are staring at him kind of confused.
They're confused. They're confused.
Yeah.
No one gets hurt. The drawings are attractive to look at. Nothing's too busy.
3 divided by the square root of 60 and a half. Okay.
Speaking of attractive to look at.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at her.
Is it summer? What is that top?
It's a teal sleeveless number with a plunging neckline.
Number.
On a black velvet skirt that, of course, is obscured by a fucking apron. That bitch should never don an apron. She should have furs on where she's taken out to good restaurants, not serving you. She yells up the stairs, Did you want to come down and eat your pancakes while they're still hot, honey? And he's upstairs shaving, and his fucking biceps look kind of big. He's got pajama bottoms on. He goes, I'm still shaving. Can you bring them up here? And now she's in the bathroom. He's got shaving cream on his face, and she's feeding him pancakes. He goes, pancakes with minty shaving cream aren't half bad.
I take it back. If this, I would not allow him to get $100,000. I'd refuse the $50,000.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Because I think that would be my $100,000 prize winner. And what would he do with it? He would eat himself to death. He would quit his job because he thinks he's made for life because he's a simpleton, not realizing that $100,000 isn't going to get him through the year. And he would never get a job again because they'd call for a reference and his boss would be like, he sleeps at the desk, he's incompetent, and then he'd lose Blondie.
He'd buy more donut pajamas, maybe a new chair.
Yep.
He'd buy maybe a TV, and then for her, he'd get her like food she can cook, like steaks and, flour for more pancakes.
Look what I got you, honey. Cookie mix.
You love that stuff.
All right, listen, folks. If you want to come see some live comedy, the La Jolla Comedy Store, come on out Labor Day weekend. Mike, anything you want to plug?
I guess I could share what I'm watching is the Billy Joel doc. I think we're going to talk about it next week. I don't think there could be any spoilers in it, but you and I have both watched episode 1. Is that where we're at?
Yes.
And there's 2 episodes. It's nice. I've never seen him this vulnerable. He's normally always had like a chip on his shoulder and angry.
Yep.
Maybe driving into a few trees drunk, sanded some of the edges down, but he hasn't even met Christy Brinkley yet.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I've never heard not never, but it's been a while since I heard a documentary get this kind of rave reviews. We're going to watch it tonight.
By the way, we've never talked about, have you watched the Pee Wee Herman documentary?
Oh, that was incredible. It's great.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah. I feel like it kind of came and went really fast. Not enough.
I have to finish it meanwhile. It goes on for a while, but he's extraordinary in it.
Yeah.
Like his interview, his current-ish, his last interviews.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've done it. And I guess we'll see you guys soon.
Take it ish.
Take it ish.
All right.
Sunday papers, Greg and Mike. It's the news that you might like. Irregardless,